gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank, man. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. We had a long tournament. I'm joined by Ben Genesine, Patrick Price, and, of course, Chris Duarte, man. Show some love to all the co-hosts. They did a phenomenal job all weekend long, and finally, we came to an end, gentlemen. And the New York Subliners were the ones who came out on top.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought, Slayer? What are your
us.
initial thoughts? What are you on the whole tournament as a whole? You know,
whole
New
tournament.
York winning. Yeah.
I think it was a good tournament. Honestly, a lot of upsets for me personally. And a lot of teams played out on LAN a lot better than we saw online. I think this meta shift played a big part in that. We kind of saw teams that were good with the M4, not good here in this meta.
Yeah, the meta switched up, so hurt a lot of teams.
A lot of teams, yeah, and some interesting throws.
Interesting throws, man. What about you, Benjay? What did you think about everything?
And then we talked about before this tournament, the team that adapted the most over the weekend will be the one that won. And I think New York showed that they were the team that figured out kind of the fast Vaz meta that we saw, especially on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this tournament. And so respectable, typical victory out of those boys, proving that they're going to be our best team going into Christmas.
Yes, sir. And then, Chris, what about you, man? I know you played in Challengers, you coached in Challengers, you were a co-host on a Flank.
I was doing it all this weekend.
I mean, you're a triple threat, man. How do you feel that the tournament's over now?
This is honestly probably one of the best tournaments we've had, like, in a long, long time.
It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun.
I think the Pro-Am setup was incredible. I think, you know, it gave two teams that ended up actually being the finals and Challengers, shout out to Elevate, shout out to LA Gorillas, a chance to really show that, you know, they have, you know, they can compete with these pro teams, even though they have lesser facilities than they do. But also, in terms of the actual CDL, there was only like 1-2 teams that I felt like weren't competitive, and I feel like every other team right now came and upset some teams, you know, had some entertaining matches, and obviously some of these teams that we didn't expect made some pretty significant runs. So, I mean, this is probably one of the greatest tournaments of all time. Yeah,
no, it was a really good tournament. A lot of great COD, man. A lot of teams looked really good, and we could get into it, man. We had a few matches today. We kicked things off today with Faze in Seattle. That was the winners final, and Seattle ended up winning a Game 5 against Faze, which was our main critique yesterday. Seattle needs to clutch up in their Game 5s. I mean, what did you think about that, Ben?
It was a crazy series, probably the best series we've had all year.
Yeah.
I think we're probably most remembered for whatever the hell happened on map 4 of that series.
What a comeback.
Faze were down like 130 points, something like that. But yeah, Seattle clutched up round 10 on El Asilio. You know, and we've obviously well documented throughout the week their struggles in last week too. Their struggles in S&D, and you know, respectable victory of the Seattle boys, who I thought showed a lot of resilience today.
Yeah, I mean, Pat, what did you think, Seattle? I know you've had some critiques on Seattle as a team, but they did show out and get a good placing this weekend.
Yeah,
they got top 2.
And I think specifically in this series, I just wish I would have seen more out of FaZe in their hardpoint. I mean, it was an all-weekend thing, like, but Sibin Pred again frying. I think Max stepped up massively all day today, which was obviously huge. And then yeah, they ended up clutching up in a game 5. But honestly, that doesn't really concern me as much because let's be real, they should have won map 4. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that was the story for me in this series. Is Seattle was just playing better in hardpoint than FaZe was, and for FaZe, I mean, that really can't happen. Like with the talent they have on that team, they need to be the best hardpoint team in the game, and obviously still be very good at S&D. But I think Cell had a quiet series here, which I mean, we can't say too much. The guy was frying all weekend long. It was just one of those series where he didn't play.
He dropped a 1.
You're right. He dropped a 1, and that's bad, right, for Cell.
No, their issue. I mean, look, it's only been like an 8-month issue because I'm starting like Kickoff Classic like earlier this year. I think as a team, they haven't yet figured out how to pull up to Sundays and have all 4 players clicking. And in this day, they didn't win a single respawn other than that crazy comeback in map 4. And that was the same problem they had last year. They would always show up and they were the second best team on Sunday, and someone was having a bad series. In this case, I think today Simpin and Beezy were just a little bit off. And as we saw today, if your subs are not applying pressure, winning those gunfights, it's going to be hard to win respawn. So.
Yeah, Chris, what did you think about the series as a whole? Winners finals, Seattle and FaZe.
We thought Seattle wasn't going to be able to win a map 5. Loftus didn't pick them to make it to finals, you know, for that reason. But they ended up proving us wrong. Granted, it shouldn't even have got to that map 5, but Seattle's just a respawn team. If they can get all 3 of their best players, Max, Sib, and Pred, firing on all cylinders in a series, like these guys are going to win, or they're going to compete with the best. Yeah. Lamar had a kind of stinker series, but he actually made a play that convincingly won them the control. Yeah. So props to him on that. But outside of that, FaZe Faze just need to kind of like step up their consistencies on Sundays. I know it's the first, it's a new tournament, it's a new year,
it's
right?
It's been a thing since
But it's
January.
been a thing for a while.
January,
And
yeah.
I don't know, maybe these guys are just kind of they're like a momentum heavy team. I feel like people don't really realize it that like they would probably do better in like long runs in like a day, and on Sundays if they're coming into that winners finals, it's the first match of the day, they probably don't even get warm-ups back there, right? Because there's no teams left in the tournament.
Yeah.
They probably just came out flat, and Seattle took advantage of that. And they
I mean,
popped up.
my issue is it's not like one Sunday this has happened. This is like
Yeah.
4 or
It's been
5
an issue,
now
yeah.
for them. And last year it was they would play the hottest team in the finals, and sometimes they grind out a long series, sometimes they got smoked. And today didn't even make it to the grand final. We'll get to the later series, but yeah, I mean they gotta fix that problem. I do think though for FaZe, the one thing, and we'll probably talk about it in the second series more, is like they've been really good in search this week. So as long as they clean up the respawns, they continue to be that dominant S&D team. Like
We have a special guest joining us right now.
Hey,
Yo, what's good? Sit down, man. Take a seat, Troy.
I'm only here for a bit.
Take the headset for 30 seconds. Spit
Yeah, we're running
something
the
real
flank
quick,
right
man.
now.
Yeah, you're there, bro. What's going on? How's it feel to be a champion, Troy?
Again,
Bro, how's it feel? Well, I
feels
mean,
good, man.
just a champion today, of course.
it feels good because this is the first chip I've won where I actually had a trophy to like hold.
Oh, look at that. You get to hold the
that's
trophy up
awesome.
on
Yeah,
stage,
dude.
man. How the boys feeling backstage? They're probably incredible.
Yeah.
Probably feel that there's nothing more better than
Bro,
a
I'm gonna be
winning
honest,
feeling,
Ben, how are you able to talk without like checking yourself? Because I hear my voice so
yeah,
loud.
no, I kind of like that actually. I can hear my voice.
I'm not used to that. What'd you say? All right, fair enough.
He
Fair
said,
enough.
get used to
I
it.
thought it was just his. I thought you was just turned. I don't
Nah,
know.
man. But long weekend. How'd you guys do it, man? It was I feel like you guys just looked on point. Your pacing was on another level.
Yeah, I mean, well, these guys genuinely like just trust me, and I feel like I was able to preach a lot of the right stuff. And I feel like right now, like even before this tournament, my confidence as a coach is like super high. Just like being able to help players like develop the talent, and, like be able to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Like, dude, these guys are fucking smart ass players.
Yeah, they're
so
good.
It's like, yeah, it's like.
And we
to me,
noticed
like,
a lot of strats from you guys, some pre-nades and some some little creative
Yeah,
stuff. I'm not gonna tell you to explain anything or
you're
give it
good.
all away, but it was cool to see you guys prepared.
Listen,
you
just
know?
know I'm always on my bullshit.
Yeah,
bro.
you're on your bullshit,
I'm
Troy.
always on
Is
my
this
bullshit.
what happens, Troy, when people listen to you?
Imagine? Nah. Like I said, bro, I fucking loved being a part of Optic, and all those guys genuinely had so much respect for me. I don't care what anyone says. Like, they're my boys, bro, 100%.
I love that, Troy. That's
Well,
always
Troy,
good.
they
Yeah.
walked out day 1, and you're holding the trophy on the
Trust me,
day
bro.
3.
I've just learned a lot, bro. So,
Yeah, of course, bro.
yeah, I feel like
shout
I'm
out to
always
those
like,
guys.
I feel like I'm just leveling up right now.
I
So,
like that, Troy.
like that.
You're flourishing, man. You're
I'm
flourishing,
trying,
bro.
bro.
Well, hey, man. Hey, congratulations,
I appreciate
brother.
it, man.
Congratulations.
Congrats, man, for real.
Thank you for hopping on for a little bit, man. And go enjoy time. Go spend time with the team,
Sure.
man.
Troy,
Congrats,
I'll
man.
hit you up. We'll do another episode during the week. We'll get all the boys on. We'll talk more about the event when you guys.
Later,
Get
Troy.
some more time. Later, bro.
Peace out, man.
You could tell how much it meant to him in that interview.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
tell he was definitely emotional, bro, and he was also just like off the high of
Yeah, I
winning.
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
bro, the high. I mean,
He's
if
got
any
pure
if
adrenaline
any one of
flying
these
through him.
players come, if any one of the New York players come and sit down
You
next
guys
to us,
have all you guys have all won events. You
they're
know,
gonna
it's
be
like,
turned. Like you're turned after you win an event, so you can see how much emotion goes. I mean, guys, these guys they scrim every day, man. Hours. They watch film. They put so much time into it, and to come here and win, it's like they put all that work in for moments like that, you know. So it's cool to get a little, a little fucking few words from Mr. Troy Center Martin himself, man. I don't know why I keep saying Troy Center Martin, bro.
Troy Sender Michaels.
Mr.
Troy
Troy
Sender-
Sender Michaels, man. Shout out to Troy Sender Michaels. He's fucking Doug now. But let's get to the next series. We had an elimination match. We had NYSL going up against Toronto Ultra. This Ultra ended up getting eliminated from New York. This was the last map, too. It went all the way down to a Fortress S&D, and we saw some B plans. New York was working the B site. Like, they were actually playing for B
So
a few of the
glad someone
rounds.
brought strats to go hit B, bro. You've
The
been complaining
Neslos
about
were
all week.
in, bro.
They were
Neslos
hitting.
were
in.
in, bro.
And Seattle had no idea what to do. They had no idea what to do. Whenever New York
Toronto,
went
you
B,
mean Toronto.
or Ultra. Ultra had
Yeah.
no idea what to do. Once New York got the bomb down, Ultra was chalked. They had no. They didn't know where
I
to
think
go.
this series just basically reinforced my statement with like New York's strengths and the whole thing that I said. I was telling you guys, control and search are the best game modes right now in this game in terms of like consistency.
Yeah.
Because S&D in this game, it's pretty like one-dimensional in a sense, but there's a lot of like little like finesse that you can do that if you're like more prepared than the other team.
Yeah,
or have
because
nerdy
the first
nades
event you
or
get ahead, yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can really like get ahead and like have all these like nerdy things in your back pocket. And I think New York had that on a lot of these maps. Like they were working maps really well. They had a good mix of fast gameplay. They had a good mix of slow gameplay. They had snipers. They had a good sniper in their team. Like they covered all the bases in search, which allowed themselves to be put ahead in that game mode. And then control, dude, their control was incredible.
Yeah.
They kept playing hotel,
And I think,
which I think my bad, but a lot of people were probably scared to play them on Fortress because I think that was probably their other map pick because of the 50-50 nonsense that can occur because of defense. But I think teams should have probably played that map a little bit more because, dude, their hotels weren't even close.
I also think they just played control different than every other team. Like they played it with so much more pace. Like they just diving on points, not caring
they're
about their
very
lives at all.
selfless.
Yeah,
The whole
yeah,
team
yeah.
is very. They seem like they're playing in a very selfless play style where none of them are scared to die. None of them are scared to throw their lives away. Where you watch some of these other teams and people sometimes play their lives too much. Like in my opinion, I mean, I obviously don't have any examples in front of me to show, but sometimes people just gotta go.
you say
It's the
that?
better play sometimes to go in, get a kill, and die. Than to you play super slow, work a kill, and then play your life and run away and keep playing your KD.
You say that,
you know?
but like in this series, Hydra made a play, I believe, behind desk where he was holding a pre-aim for a second and waited for his teammates to pull and kind of baited them and made the right play. So I think it's mixing and matching. They
Well,
just
situational,
New York,
of course.
New York is good at the like speed aggression, but they also have players like Hydra that can also play kind of ratty at times, and I think that's why they're problem.
But there's always this misconception about speed and aggression.
Yeah.
Speed and aggression is not running. It's not just running at people over and over again. It's just being a step ahead of the other team. Like, you have to think faster. You have to make your decisions around a map faster. That's what I think about when I think speed. Like, yes, they're headbutting hills, but they're a step ahead. Like, they're the ones getting to the hill, getting to the head glitches,
also-
keeping them pinned because of that pace. It's a cycle. It never stops.
And getting a kill and knowing the move you're going to make right
Right.
away, no hesitation at all.
Exactly.
Getting a kill, continuously advancing on the map.
It's like a
pushing the team
train.
out.
It's
Yeah.
like a train. You just keep it going, and last guy pick up pinch, and then once the guy in hill dies and he comes off, he picks up pinch. You go, and it's got to be quick. It's got to be.
And I think they have a mix of players that like really benefits all of them for that style.
Yeah,
right?
they fit really well.
Yeah,
Their
they
chemistry
do.
is
They do.
really
There's
good,
no
and
doubt about
we saw it throughout the whole weekend. Like as they were playing, we were like, dude, these guys are playing at a crazy pace. I mean, you were saying it yesterday, and it's just insane to see how far the New York Subliners had came. And what happened to Ultra? I mean, Slay, that's your team right there, man. What happened to
They
them?
just couldn't win S&D. I mean, like you see this, they basically beat up on New York in 2 hard points. Which I mean, if you're an Ultra fan, like you'd love to see that. But I mean, yeah, they just got NYSL. They got outclassed in search, and yeah, I don't know what was good with their control this weekend. I feel like it was super inconsistent. Like I don't think they should ever get 3-0'd in a control.
Agreed.
So yeah, I mean, they were not on their NYSL modes.
No.
This Toronto team looks way more competitive than last year's team in
I
terms
agree.
of being able to like win an event. I think good things are ahead. I think Standy definitely in a better situation now. Looks good. Scrappy's been the real deal coming in. Insight had some crazy series this weekend. Crimsix was doing its thing. I really like this Toronto team. I think they're going to be there.
I think in
thereabouts.
terms of the
good team.
series,
You might be right. They might end up being here in 2023.
They just need
champions.
more
We'll see.
S&D. Like they just
Yeah.
gotta,
They're a good team for
They
sure.
got to get their S&D
I think in
down.
terms of this series in general, I think you just had a pretty quiet series out of like Kismet and not Kismet. Sorry,
Go down and see the
Kleenex.
stats.
Yeah, go down. You can just go down and see the stats.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
that's
sure Kleenex didn't play too well this map, and I think Standy didn't play the
The
best
inside
either.
Standy.
Oh, it was inside and Standy. Sorry. So yeah, they didn't have too good of a series. They didn't really play terrible, but I mean, in terms of the other team, like Kismet and Hydra, like they both had like .97s, like right on the verge of 1.0. But we know how much like aggression they apply on the map, and I think that's the difference maker. Is like they just play at a complete different pace, and their S&D is really good, and yeah.
But I mean, I think from the 2 stars, right, Scrap and Kleenex, I think aside from maybe one series, like those guys were going off almost all weekend. And like when we talk about the roster change that they made, I think they really upgraded. To your point, like I think they are contenders. I don't know how many series we're going to see where Insight and Standy
Did you say they
play
pack a
this
punch?
floor. Oh yeah, they pack a punch for sure. They definitely did. And I think they got more star power. The only downside, obviously, that comes with that is improving their S&D, because they obviously, when you pack a punch, you do take a hit on teamwork because you break up a team that's been together so long. And so I think, as time goes on, I think their S&D will improve, and yeah, I think they're going to be a contender.
Yeah, Ultra, they end up getting eliminated, but they did take New York to a last map.
Top
and
4 is pretty good.
Yeah, top 4 is a great placing. So, we're going to be looking at Ultra moving forward. And then we had Faze versus NYSL, because NYSL knocked Ultra out. Faze ended up losing to Seattle Surge in the winners finals, so it was Faze versus NYSL in the losers finals. Winner meets Seattle in the grand final, and of course, this is where NYSL took down Faze. And they came out out the gates hot, man. This is where the New York Subliners, they just came out swinging.
They just all fried.
They fried.
All of them.
From top to bottom, I
Yeah.
think that was a key, too, for them this weekend. I mean, you could say that about any team, but
Yeah.
they really did all fry, all four of them. You know, all four of them were making plays. What happened with Faze against the New York Subliners, Ben?
I mean, they were just buns in respawn today. I think that's the biggest issue with this series. I mean, they looked fine in the search. They were pretty automatic in search this weekend,
Yeah.
but today they do an absolute goose egg.
Yeah, and then the
in
control,
respawn.
too, has been hurting them a
Oh,
little
I mean,
bit.
actually, they won one respawn today. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say the control because New York just 3-0 slammed them in the control. I felt like
Yeah.
that was a big swing map as well.
Well, Faze today and yesterday, control is a huge problem for them on Hotel. Like, they just, after being, I thought, really dominant on offense, especially Thursday and Friday. I mean, we were watching. They were doing a good job getting those stacks and those B stacks. They didn't look as explosive, I think, on Saturday and Sunday. So you need to rethink, I think, their control. But go
You know what
ahead.
I'm thinking about, bro? There's this. I remember in Vanguard, so one team won a championship, and there was like this whole theme. I feel like every team that won an event in Vanguard had this like one map and mode that like carried them the entire way that they kept winning. And I feel like this is the same story for New York this event. Though that hotel control, like that swing game mode was like automatic, guaranteed for them every series. So if they could, and they were both serviceable in S&D and hardpoint this weekend, right? With the pace they played the hardpoint, with the preparation they had in S&D, that they won one of those maps in the first two. They were like guaranteed to win two maps like right at the rip of the series because of the control.
Yeah. I mean, Pat, do you have any thoughts on the New York Subliners taking down Faze today? I actually thought Faze, I thought it was going to be a tough matchup for them just because of their pace. I thought Faze was going to win the tournament, but what did you think?
I think this series was Slasher's probably like second worst performance of all time. And it's like, how many times is Slasher going to play that bad? You know what I mean? Like, he's always a really consistent player. I think he's had one series in the past where he had like a 0.5 and it was just a really off series. But like, this was just a really rough one from him. He couldn't get it going. And especially playing really well versus Seattle prior. Yeah, I just don't think their slang was on point, and yeah, New York just kind of ran over
He
him.
was making some
I
big
don't
plays,
wanna
but
all put on Austin again.
I'm not saying it's his
Yeah,
fault.
yeah.
I'm just saying calling it
Yeah.
out. Like, when is Austin ever going to play that bad?
it's
probably
it's
that
not
often. Yeah.
a .62. I mean, not it's going to happen very rarely.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
You know,
Just
but
a really off series.
But I think if you're Faze, I think obviously you would have liked to have won this weekend. They obviously play a long game. They know they're probably gonna be a champs. I think your takeaway is they looked like probably the best S&D team at the tournament until the end, which I think New York really turned up. They just gotta figure out their hardpoint deal, because even when they were winning hardpoints this weekend, like, it was either sketchy last second wins or that crazy comeback they had on Fortress. Like, they weren't really blowing people out.
Hardpoint's just a difficult game mode for a lot of people because I feel like that's the game mode that gets affected the most when a weapon meta swap happens. And as we know, the M4 got GA'd basically a week or two before the tournament. And some teams, picked up the pace of the game mode a lot quicker, and, some teams didn't. So I think you're going to see a lot of teams, change up the way they play hardpoint, and it'll start to be probably a little bit more consistent for some of these top teams with heavy slaying power.
let's also
that
not
can
pretend.
translate that to wins.
They got top 3. Like,
yeah,
these
we got
guys
top
are
3.
like absurdly consistent.
Yeah.
To make it every championship Sunday.
The
forever.
worst
players, bro,
placing
like-
was like that Seattle when they lost to Nikki D. That was it.
Yeah.
Outside
that,
that, they've
like,
been top
sixth?
3.
They're
They didn't
cream
make
of
it
the
a
crop.
Sunday.
Their
That's
average placing is insane.
The
Yeah.
only time they didn't make it a Sunday was that event. So
Yeah.
They're the cream of the crop in terms of the league. Obviously, I mean, no one's going to ever doubt their ability to place well. But for the Faze, it's always a story is like, we know their talent. They should be winning.
Yeah,
Right?
I agree.
They just got to translate. They just got to get better HP.
I just feel you can say that about a lot of teams now, man. A lot of teams
Yeah.
have talent,
A lot
bro.
of teams
So
are packing a punch.
these tournaments are going to be crazy every single time. And then obviously we go on to the grand final, which is where Seattle played NYSL. And to be honest, man, like, this was a New York masterclass. Seattle got shit on.
Not even
They got
close.
shit on.
Yeah.
Like, they were getting mopped. It seemed like, again, like New York a step ahead. Just they seemed confident going into it. And I know, Slay, you were talking about you felt like some people on Seattle, they didn't show up. They didn't show up to play.
Yeah, and it's weird, too, because, like, stat lines, the games were close, but, like, in the games themselves, they didn't feel close. Like, the kill feed was, like, always white.
Yeah.
The
they
New
have
York
the
players
stats
were
updated,
always getting 2-3-piece, like,
Always.
highlight plays.
The slang power was
Seattle-
insane.
Yeah,
Seattle
like, look
needed-
at this. Like, the score lines were close in the games, but the stat lines of the players
Seattle
were
had an
not
opportunity
close.
to get some early momentum in this series and then blowing that lead on Hotel. That momentum would have been nice to carry throughout the series. But yeah, no, I mean, I thought Kismet was an absolute beast in this series. Hydra was unbelievable today on Sunday. Caesar doing his thing, and obviously we've been tipping personal weekend. He didn't have the best of series in this one, but I mean, he's had other
Kismet's
good
actually,
series throughout the week.
I mean, to call that out, Kismet's just actually been frying.
It's the
period, since he got back
unselfishness,
in the
bro.
league.
Yeah.
Like
All 4 of them, man.
he came out of Challengers, got back in the league, and I think he's making more than the most of this opportunity because he's been a problem since he came back.
But what I'm saying, right, is like a lot of these players on different teams weren't flourishing. But they're
Yeah.
flourishing right now together because their play styles and the way they think about the game. Like, bro, it's really exciting to watch. They're very, very unselfish, and they all have, like, the same mentality. So their chemistry is on point, man. And then on Seattle, I thought Mac played really well this weekend. Like, the last
He
couple
stepped up.
days, like, going
Stepped
into the
up.
weekend, I thought Mac, like, popped off. He was doing his thing. But I agree with Pat. I just think the slaying power for New York was just insane. And, you know, it goes to show, even with the New York roster, that, man, there's a lot of good players in this league, man. And just because people are placing at the bottom of the league doesn't mean they're not good players. Just because people are losing doesn't mean they aren't good players. This is a game of teamwork.
Lose as a team, win as
Yeah,
a
you
team,
lose as a team and win as a team, and you're only as good as a team. You can't win events by yourself. You can make plays and make game-winning plays and get there, but, man, everybody's got to be on the same page, and you guys got to be on the, you know, when going into a match, you got to know what you're doing. So having a team that's all on the same mentality, man, of just like go, and they know when to slow down, like you were saying, Ben. Like they know when. I mean, when you get the kills and you get pushed up, you always want to slow down and hold your lanes. But they have a really good pace to them right now. The only thing I worry about now for them is people are gonna go back now. They're gonna watch how they're playing. They're gonna, you know,
Copy
see,
it, probably.
They're gonna copy
That's how it
it
always happens, yeah.
because that's just how. Yeah, that's just
You
how
gotta
it always
continue,
is.
You got to continue to innovate. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Keep the work ethic up, keep the trust up, but be willing to switch shit up because people are going to your point,
They're gonna copy.
they're
going
going to copy you, and you got to counter as the meta evolves.
But New York Subliners will be known as that team to fucking get this
Yeah.
game going. You know, they're the first team. I feel like people are definitely going to be looking at the New York Subliners VOD, of course. I mean, they just won the event, but
Hydra finally got his revenge.
yeah, and then I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Paco on stage after the interview, he said he mentioned Crimsix. That was the first thing he said. He just wanted.
You know it was on his mind.
It was on his mind.
Yeah.
It was the first thing he said. He just, you know, it was nice for him to prove everybody wrong. You know, he felt like that a lot of people have been, you know, talking down on his name, and he wanted to come out and make a statement. And he sure did, Slay. He came out to play. That guy's disgusting.
He played good all tournament. I mean, if Kismet didn't get MVP, he was probably runner-up, right? Like, to get it, I think Kismet just kind of overperformed, especially in this final. But yeah, he was frying all weekend. I mean, but the thing with Hydra is, like, we kind of know. It's kind of like a known factor. Like, he's always going to get his kills. You know what I mean? Like, that's
he's
never
talented.
really a
Yeah,
concern
no,
for Hydra.
no one's ever doubted that.
ever.
But what he has made a lot of progress on, I think we saw it the first series they played, whoever they played the second week of the online qualifiers. We had that listening on Fortress. And how good his comms were.
Yeah.
And it's not just the call out. It's like the small talk, the directing traffic was so much more improved from last season. And like in this game, we've talked a lot about how bad communication punishes you. Without red dots, him stepping up in that factor combo with his ability to stay alive and get kills, this is a dangerous team right here.
Yeah, and also I wanted to give some love to Priesta, man. We've been hard on him for.
Pete Dog has been great, man. He was great this weekend.
We've been hard on him last season. Actually, now I think about it, all the rocker player or not all the not all the rocker players,
Rocker took a big
the
L
two
this
players
weekend, I'll
that
say that.
struggled the most on rocker last year were Priesta and Standy, I think, and they're literally placing the best right now. So I mean, it goes to show you again that if you get people in the right environment, you know they can turn it around and play up to their standards.
You know why I think New York's playstyle is so good? It's because of no red dots. Like they get a kill and they're gone.
Yeah, they're out.
You know
of
what I
there.
mean? You can't
They're outta there.
track these guys. Like they're playing so fast. There's no red dots. Like they're just gone. And I feel like, I mean, obviously red dots aren't going to come back from what we know.
We saw the 1v3 with Clay when the guy was spinning in circles shooting.
Bro, it doesn't matter how good you
are.
are, bro. Like if there's no red dots, you can just get a kill and get out. And
Well, that's what Donnie was talking about on the couch today. When we got Donnie,
communication up.
Donnie
I think
Temple
they're
on the
just
couch.
ahead in that regard.
You can't slack on comms anymore. Like you can't. Everybody, you can't have like a
Can't
brain
have lazy
fart.
comms to say like,
lazy comms. That's the word I'm looking
you
for.
got to be very specific. But I mean, I think they'd still be good with red dots, bro. This is a fast
No, but I'm
team that gets
saying
trades.
their play style. They're playing at a pace that no other team is currently, in my opinion. Like they're just playing so fast that, like, I mean, in the past it would be a lot easier to deal with. But yeah, when they're playing like this and no red dots, like that combination, I think that's the style teams are gonna have to copy.
I mean, to be fair about the fast thing, we don't know that by data. I would love to see interactions per team because Seattle's a fast team. We've talked about that. Toronto's a fast team.
But these guys are
Faze
all
a fast team.
Like
That's what I'm saying. You're saying that they're
But
the
remember
specific
what I
fast team.
told you, what I
Yeah.
think, what I mean when I say
I know,
fast.
but I'm responding to him though. When
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
No,
yeah,
because
yeah.
you were just mentioning
Yeah.
interactions and stuff, and it's like, yeah, that stuff matters. I'm always down to look at that stuff, but
Like,
you
bro,
know.
these guys are playing faster where they're not even valuing
you
their
can-
life
you-
in situations, but it doesn't matter because they're all doing it. So they're
Yeah,
getting
because
those trades.
We've
and
seen,
throwing
we've, seen
other
a,
stacks.
we've seen a lot of. I mean, all I'm saying is we talked about this yesterday. All 4 of the teams that made it to Sunday are all unquote fast teams, correct? None of us could sit here and say they're slow teams.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
agree.
okay.
We said
Yeah,
that
of
yesterday.
course. Yeah.
That the teams that looked like they were playing the game at the fastest pace were the top 4 teams.
I'm just saying you're saying they're the fastest team, and I just want us to take a step back before we make that claim.
I mean,
We
they
don't
won.
data-
I think they
to
are
back
the
it up.
fastest
I
team.
think they are the fastest.
I would love
for
to
sure.
see. I would love if someone wants to tweet us some data.
Bro,
proving that. I'd
But
love
that's
to
not
see
like a
it.
quantifiable thing at the same
wait,
time.
it actually might be. Look,
That's
if
why
you
I'm
can look at their engagements per series, you actually
Hey,
might
bro.
actually be.
What happened? Are we good? Yeah, no. See, for me, it's bro. Again, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm talking about just
Yeah,
like
that goes off the
I'm
mind.
talking about
Decision-making,
like
decision-making and
decision
shit.
making. I'm not talking
No,
about
these guys-
running at people and playing fast. They always seem like they're in the places they need to be
Because they have
before the other
Because
team.
they trust each other.
Right, and then
Period.
they get their kills, and then they make plays off their kills. You know, like they just seem like they're ahead, bro.
It's because they trust each other. They know that they're gonna make the right play, and like they can trust a guy in front of them to basically to do what he needs to do. That's literally all it is.
Yeah, and like I'm down to always look at analytics and look at stats. But listen, bro, like I've been watching COD all weekend, and the stats do not show everything.
You
like,
can't
they
quantify
really
the
don't.
Bulldog.
No, you can't, bro.
can't,
You
bro.
can't. Like, bro, I'm not looking at the Bulldog stats, man. Like, I'm just watching the game and I'm watching what this guy's
It's the
doing.
eye test about pace.
Yeah, it's the eye test,
Pace
yeah.
is an eye test thing.
So it's like, you know, the New York Subliners, they got a good team, man. Now we'll see how they carry on throughout the rest of the year and see if they can keep it consistent and keep moving forward. But good run from Seattle as well.
Yeah.
It was a good run from them. When's the next major? Boston, right? That's the next one?
So we got like I think 3 weeks. So we got like Christmas, Hanukkah, which Hanukkah started I believe today, if I'm not mistaken. It was today or yesterday. All the days are blending together at this point.
I don't know.
We got New Year's, and then I think the first week after New Year's, and then we're back. We got 3 weeks, and then Boston Major is going to be like the first week of February. So this is the longest break that we have. The rest of the season, I think every other break is like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was looking at the schedule,
So-
bro. It's pretty condensed this year.
which was everybody's main like complaint last year because they had that massive break in
The
the middle.
season ends in June.
So-
Well, that was
yeah.
the big thing. Like the no break, I think is nice. Like
Mhm.
that was just unnecessary last year.
Yeah, and we're definitely it's gonna be a little slow. We got the holidays coming up, like you
Yeah.
said. So obviously, happy holidays to everybody. I'm actually mind blown just looking around at how fast they take everything
Oh,
down.
dude, you should wait
Yeah.
till they start derating the lights and
I
shit.
mean, we
You'll
could
see.
probably go to a fan cam here and check it out. We
You're
could
just-
already see all the boxes and everything, and this venue just looks completely
They were Tom. They
empty.
were.
They know what they're doing.
They've been unpacking so fast that earlier they accidentally unplugged their internet because they were.
Yeah,
messing with
guys,
Switch.
bro. And before we obviously end the show, I just wanted to thank everybody, man. I mean, I've been seeing the responses to all the shows this weekend and the watch parties and everything and the setup. And, you guys have been coming in here every single day. So much energy, so much love. And I'm glad you guys have enjoyed it, man, because we definitely want to do more of these in the
Yeah, it's been
future.
fun.
It's been a lot of fun. We want to come to more events. We want to try and be to all of them if we can and do this at every single event. And we also hit 20,000 subscribers on Twitch, man, which, guys, from the bottom of my heart, like, that's fucking incredible, man. Like, I'm super grateful to have such an amazing community who tunes into all the shows and just shows love, man. Like, seriously, man, you guys make streaming 10 to 12 hours a day a lot easier because I have such an amazing community. So just thank you guys so much for all the energy. I want to give a huge shout out to a lot of people, man. The colleague, I want to shout out the colleague for getting us in here and finding us a spot on the floor. Esports Engine for helping us, set it all up. Activision, of course, none of this is possible without Activision. They were super supportive through everything, and they helped us a lot getting here. It would not have been possible without them. So I want to give a shout out to Activision, and then, of course, FaZe Clan, man. FaZe Clan always supports anything and anything we want to do. And without FaZe, man, it would be very difficult to do some of this stuff. But the most important person to this all is Bepsi. Bepsi is the
Let's get a
absolute
Webs in
go.
the
I don't know
chat.
if you guys can. Yeah, there he is. You see him in the corner of the screen with the blonde hair in the back. You see him. You can't miss him. Chad, without Bepsi, we can't do this.
So you're saying XQC is a budget Pepsi?
XUC wants to be Bepsi.
Yeah,
Is what
that's
I'm
what I'm
trying.
saying,
It's 100% what I'm saying. Because this guy is unbelievable, bro. He comes here with 3 luggages full of equipment and sets everything up for us. And he's always making sure we're good and making sure that we got everything we need to get these shows going, man. So thank you, Bepsi. I fucking love you, bro. Shout out to him. Get a Websy in the chat. And that's it, man. Anything you guys want to say to all the people watching? I know what you guys think about the weekend.
You
It
left
was
one
fun.
person off.
Who?
Shout out to you, Tom.
Oh, come on, Slay. Stop it, Slay. Come on, Slay. But I appreciate you, man. What's the matter? Yeah, we definitely got to get out of here soon, too. They're taking everything down.
Oh, we got New York boys walking by, filming some content. Javid's wearing, like,
what is that?
wearing that Montclair, bro.
Yeah,
Oh,
Javid's
jeez.
got the Montclair on.
Everyone's-
He's feeling like $1 million.
Tom, you got to get me some new fits. I got to step it up.
Listen, that's what I'm telling. But
Yeah.
me and Ben are going to the mall. We're going to get some new fits.
Javid,
Give it up, man. Give it up
to
to Javid,
Are
man.
you trying to do a hit?
Or
'Cause
you
we're about to
gonna
wrap
do
it
a
up.
flank after, like a new flank?
And here come the lights, man. Javid, what's going on? Congratulations, buddy.
All right.
It's a pleasure,
we'll-
man.
We'll give Javid a couple questions here.
Yeah, hop in, Javid. Hop in, bro. How's it feel, brother?
We had Troy on a minute ago.
How you feeling, man?
Feels incredible, bro.
I'm
like-
sure.
Like all the shit that we had in the off season.
Yeah, of course, bro. The drama and all the everybody talking, and of course, roster. You're changing the roster up, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of just like stress.
No, for sure. The only way that we could prove ourselves is by winning.
Yeah, of course.
There's no point talking.
That's all
or
anybody
saying
ever
anything.
cares about is winning, you
Yeah.
know. So how are the boys feeling after a big win?
It was weird because we went into this tournament and we had this feeling that we were gonna win from match one.
Yeah.
We played match one. We had
Scrims
this feeling.
were scrims
Bro,
going good and everything. How was
even-
that going?
Even
Like
before-
online.
Yeah, even before week one, we were incredible in scrims. So
Mhm.
we saw the power. Like I saw the power rankings and it's like, this doesn't match up.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
the coach
the
rankings?
coach
Yeah,
rankings.
yeah, it was like,
Okay.
What are they basing that on?
I have no idea, like no idea, but that's outside noise. We don't care. And it was like, we're just going to do our thing, focus on the process. Went into this tournament super confident. You know, we know what our strengths were, so I felt like
yeah,
we
bro.
out vetoed every team. We were very good, so.
You
Yeah,
guys
man.
got hotel control on every series.
Yeah, I was about to
Yes.
say, I think that's actually an underrated comment. Like, because we were talking about some vetoes where teams were just like, why are they letting
Ridiculous.
these maps in?
Yeah.
It
we were
almost felt
talking
like
about that
everyone
all
was just
weekend.
ego challenging you
Yeah,
guys.
no
like, oh,
bullshit.
New York.
We did our prep work on every team, right? So we had an idea what they're going to veto. We had some guesses. We had different scenarios. And it's like the best case for every single team happened. The maps that we wanted to go through happened, and it's mind-blowing.
And that's
like,
usually what happens for the teams that win events, right?
Yeah.
Like, we talk about, that is literally the most underrated thing, in my opinion, that doesn't get talked about, is the veto process.
For
Okay.
us,
Gert's
it's all
supposed to
about
say something.
it's all about the 1% for us. Like we're trying to get every
Patrick-
advantage we can.
Patrick X Price is a fraud. Okay, this guy was on this couch saying he wants Surge to win. He thinks Surge are gonna win.
No way.
4-0.
No
you guys,
way.
You guys went up 3-0, and he was like, "Okay, reverse sweep." All I'm saying is, there's one person.
Hey.
there was one person connected to this show in any shape or form who's been gassing this roster since it was put together, and it was the person who called you and said, "Javid, you're gonna fucking do well."
No, you know what? I regret
He
that
did
so
call
much.
it. He did call it.
I regret.
What does this guy say? What does this guy say? Can we get the clips going in the chat? This guy just came over here and made up a story out of his ass. Yo,
Hey,
what,
listen,
what
I will say, Javid, is I had y'all winning it,
I
brother.
appreciate
You know
that.
what I'm
I
saying?
appreciate
Actually, no, I had Faze.
Can we
I had,
chat?
okay,
Can we
wait.
get
I had Faze,
clips? This guy
but
just
then
came
once,
over here.
once it was
Lost.
New York, yeah,
Attention.
once Faze
We had
lost, I
the-
said I think New York is gonna win. What do you mean not, Jenny? What do you mean not? Of course I
This
did.
guy- bro, this guy was over here earlier. He was like, yo, who do you think's gonna win Faze versus New York? And I'm like, probably Faze. He's like, yeah, I think they'll
As you can
smoke
tell,
him.
all our egos are going through the
Bro, you
roof,
hear this
brother,
guy?
because you won.
No.
Yeah.
Yo, I think the real question, hold on, the real problem here is Gersh left New York and they won, and I think that's what
He's got you. He's got you. The real problem is that Pat's head is actually fucking massive.
cut
and,
the mic,
if
cut
New York
the
wants to go
mic.
celebrating at bowling tonight, they can use Pat's head, just like send it down the lane,
Bruh.
easy strikes.
It's because you're blowing up his head 5 times in pictures. You're photoshopping his head.
That's just realistic. There's no-
No, it's not.
Tommy,
All
I will
right,
say. I will
Go
say,
ahead. Let
last thing-
Javid have the floor. Go
last
ahead,
thing I
Javid.
will say, like, I do regret coming on the flank last time, but the only way we're gonna get better is by learning from that. We reflect, we learn,
Yeah.
implemented some shit this season, so you can see that.
Yeah, no, you got to be careful when you come on the flank. Anything can happen on the flank. You know what I'm saying?
All I know is I want the new NYSL social media manager to roast Gersh into the next event. That's all I want. Non-stop. Just have him on the timeline.
And she's standing right there.
Okay, yeah, Laura, just have
There's
your way with
social
Gersh
media
on the
managers
timeline.
right there. But Javid, anything you want to say to all the fans, everybody who's watching, everybody who's showing love?
Yeah, appreciate all the support, you New York fans, even through all the shit that we had. You know, I'm not this big bad, this evil guy that I've been painted out to be. You know, I'm just trying to work
I mean,
hard. I'm just trying to
everybody gets a
learn.
narrative pushed. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I always say this competition brings out the worst in everybody.
Hey, that's not so bad of a of a narrative.
It isn't if you suit it.
You keep
not a
winning.
villain.
It's the best
Yeah.
thing to have. Trust.
So for you suit that, right? You're a great villain. For
I mean,
me,
you're a
not so
boxer,
much.
Javi. You be boxing and shit. You might fit the villain
Yeah, but
role.
I'm a coach. I do this for my guys. I don't do this for me. I don't.
Yeah.
I love coaching to help these guys.
Right,
I didn't get
right.
into coaching to for all this shit. Like this is for the guys. Right?
Of course, man. Of
So,
course. Well, bro, listen. Congratulations. Thank you for
Appreciate it,
coming
man.
on, bro. And
worries.
we
Congrats to
look forward to
everybody,
watching you
whole
guys play, man.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it, guys.
congratulations to the whole team, the whole camp. Say hello to Farzam and Rohit and all those guys for me and give them my best, man. You know what I'm saying? Take it easy, buddy.
Congrats, bro.
Ben, go ahead. Put it back on. But listen, guys, lights are on. People are telling us to fucking wrap it up. I think we got to get out of here. We're getting kicked out. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Anchor.fm/theflank to check out audio sets are on. Go follow the Flankers. He's doing a great job, man. He's been running socials.
He got
and
promoted
he's
to
been
associate producer this week.
doing a phenomenal job, and he's helped out a lot this week as well. So shout
And
out to
ratio
Gersh.
him every opportunity you get.
Yeah, you should do that too.
And guys, of course, I just want to say it one more time. Just thank you guys so much for all the love and support, man. You guys, I'm super grateful, super blessed, and the amount of energy in here every single day, man, just keeps this shit pushing, man. Keeps the train rolling. So just thank you guys so much for everything, man. I love you guys. Take care. Brush your hair, and we'll see you guys next time. I'll probably be live sometime during the week, and hopefully for the Boston Major, we'll be back here on the floor in the venue. Back at it again with another episode of The Flank, man. Take it easy, man. Good night.